shall we start now?
Sure.
So welcome back to Japan.
Thank you. Thank you.
So how do you feel about Japan? What is the impression about this country?
It's always my favorite place to tour. You know, I love coming here.
Great people. I mean, really, they really love their metal here. They really do, and so they've always supported this band. And it's great to come back. We know what we expect every time we get here.
Okay. So about your new album, Blood In, Blood Out. So I had an impression that it is filled with faster tracks compared to your last few albums. I could be wrong, but was it intentional?
I don't think it's any faster than the other albums. I think maybe the songs being shorter, and by short, they're still long as hell, you know. Maybe it just has a little more sense of urgency at times, but you know, I mean, if you're just counting beats per minute, some of the songs on the last album are just like really ridiculous how fast they are.
And I think always the sound production of EXODUS album is ideal for mellow artists. So do you share some tips, or is it a top secret?
It's not any top secret, it's just, you know, guitar, you know, speaking for myself, you know, guitar players, it's all in the right hand, you know. You get, most of the tone comes from your hand, not the amps and stuff, you know.
What about drums? Drums always sounds amazing.
Well, if you got a drummer like Tom Hunting, it's pretty easy to sound amazing, you know. Yeah, that's the secret. Having a drummer that good.
Okay. So now you often use the word blood for album titles. What is that? You like the word? Or?
That's just an accident. I don't even really know why that happened. People thought, you know, like people asked, did it have anything to do with like the change in vocalists? And no, the song was there and already done and been written before that happened, so it's just one of those unforeseen circumstances, you know.
Okay.
We like blood.
Yeah, I know.
We like blood.
Nothing wrong with blood, you know.
Okay, so Steve, so how was it? Is it like to get back to the EXODUS after 10 years?
Very exciting. Very excited. Better this time. I'm mentally, physically, and everything. I'm much more together, much more with it. I feel much stronger vocally and physically in every part of it. So, to me, when I say it, this is going to be the best time for everyone, myself included.
What did you think of those new tracks?
When I first heard them, I was like, wow, I get to sing on this. How cool. Because I loved them. And then when I recorded the record, I said, well, I went in the press and, you know, I would say, well, I think it's the best EXODUS record yet. And the reaction is like, well, everybody says that when you return back to something. But I truly felt that it was. I love all 11 songs on other EXODUS records I made. Pass through song 4 to get to song 5, you know, on Blood In, Blood Out. I listened from 1 all the way to 11. I love every song.
You were doing very well with Hatred.
Still doing well with Hatred.
Yeah, but it's not conflicting.
No, not really. No. They understand and they know that that you know the band is going to grow more with me back in EXODUS. And actually, my son may start singing and playing bass. Cody may do that while I'm away doing EXODUS, just so that they can still play. So, but I'm not by any means going to end that. I'm still doing that for sure. We worked really hard, you know, and I couldn't do that to the kids. They're really very talented kids, all of them.
How is it like to play together with your own children?
It's cool. It is cool. It's great. You know, we know each other's karma because we created it. So it's great. It's great. They understand. It's a lot more work for me, but it's really cool. I like it.
What do they think that their father is a legendary thrash metal singer?
Oh, they won't admit that. They won't admit that at all. They don't look at me like that, believe me. It's Pops, it's Dad, it's my dad, it's Pops. So they understand the magnitude of it. They get it, but they would never dare say that.
Okay, so I'd like to talk about some early days. So what bands influenced you in the very beginning when you started the band?
In the beginning of EXODUS?
Yes.
You know, Priest, you know, Black Sabbath, you know, AC/DC, Van Halen, and then the whole new wave of British heavy metal and Motorhead, obviously, and, you know, Discharge, Anti-Nowhere, the UK subs, you know, all the British hardcore punk as well. Venom, you know, Venom, Merciful Fate, all that stuff.
Then you started playing faster and faster. So what's the trigger to start playing the next?
Listening to stuff like Discharge, you know, super fast hardcore punk, you know.
because you're from the West Coast, and I have an impression that the West Coast metal bands were influenced by the bands like Circle Jerks or Dead Kennedys, and I think, yeah, and I think the bands like MDC or DRI came to San Francisco. So usually, I thought the Bay Area bands were influenced by the U.S. hardcore, but for your case, you preferred the UK ones.
Yeah, it was always about the British hardcore.
The Oi bands, not the crass punks necessarily, but the Oi punks were really like, you know. And I think if you take thrash metal, it's hard rock and roll and punk put together, and I think that's where you get the energy and the ferocity of it from. And I think that's kind of the genesis of it all. Because I found myself in the early 80s going to Dead Kennedy shows and like you said, Circle Jerks, Wasted Youth, Minor Threat, you know, all those Angry Samoans, Los Olvidados. I mean, I went and seen them all, you know. MDC in every form, Multi-Death Corporation, Million of Damn Christians, you know. Exactly, all the Joey Shithead and the fuck-ups, you know what I mean? You know, it's just awesome.
No, great. Yeah, and I have a compilation LP called Live at Ruthie's Inn.
Oh, wow.
It's from the new Legacy tracks on it. And I can feel something new was being born from that compilation LP. So what was it like, the scene back in the early 80s in San Francisco?
It was awesome, you know, like it started out in the city, you know, Old Waldorf and, you know, and Wolfgang's after that, you know, and on Broadway, Mabuhay Gardens and the Stone, and then Ruthie's opened up over in Berkeley, and so, you know, it became an East Bay thing, but, you know, the early days were like amazing. It's like so awesome.
Metal Mondays at the Old Waldorf, they were great. On Monday night, that's where you would see Metallica. That's where we first saw Metallica when they first came up in LA. It was Metal Mondays, and it would be like Monday, and the place was packed with metalheads. And it was a Monday night, you know, and it was kind of, you knew then that there was something going on up there. If it was in the water or something, you know, but it was something that was really, we were all onto something, I think.
Did you feel that you were creating something totally new?
Yeah, I don't know, when I started doing this shit, and like, we were just kids playing the kind of music we wanted to hear, you know, it's like, I didn't really think much of it, you know, just wondered where my next bottle of vodka was coming from, you know, just, but it was an honor to be part of something, you know, the birth of something for sure, you know. I mean, playing thrash metal in like 1980, 1981, you know, it's like crazy when you think about it, you know, like, I was really young. 17 years old when I joined Exodus, you know.
That's great.
It's like barely older than my youngest kid.
Yeah. How old are your kids?
22, 20, and almost 17.
So I'm 25, 21, 17, and I have two steps that are, one's 15, one's 16. So we have older kids actually. You know, we don't have to worry about that anymore. His kids are all in college. My kids are like, you know, in the work world as well. My oldest does, you know, from the guys in Patriot, they do refrigeration. Nicholas is a waiter. I mean, everybody lives on their own now. It's pretty good.
So you can concentrate on the band.
Yeah, exactly. I don't have any distractions anymore. I can just concentrate on what I need to do. You know, so that's what makes this time the best time for me.
It's great that your kids are into heavy metal. My kids never care.
My kids aren't.
That's strange.
They like J-pop.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's too bad. Yeah,
they get mad at me every time I go to Japan because I haven't brought them yet, but one of these days.
Okay.
One of these days. They're obsessed.
It's visual kei stuff or?
What's that?
VK? It's called visual kei. The bands dress like women and...
I don't know. They have all those posters on the wall.
Yeah, I got all the metalheads. Even my daughter, she's likes a Mice and Men and that type of metal. So, but she still likes the hard heavy metal stuff.
What are the secrets to bring your kids metalhead? It's really difficult, I think.
No, I don't think so, because it's what all they heard in the house. See, I don't just do this and go home and listen to other music. I only listen to heavy metal. I love heavy metal. I listen to it all the time. In my car, wherever I'm at, I listen to heavy metal. Anywhere from Michael Schenker, UFO, to Sodom and Slayer, you know what I mean, Iron Maiden, whatever, but I'm always listening to heavy metal. So I think that and like my oldest son, he likes like the Faceless and Black Dahlia Murder. He likes updated, you know, newer metal, but they still like the metal, and Nick's more traditional, you know. But they all, it's a good bevy of everything that we, you know, as long as it's heavy, you know.
So it's been 30 years since your first album, Bonded by Blood. So looking back, what do you think about your first work? Do you still like it? Are you proud of it?
Oh yeah, it's my first love. You know, it's like we always be more proud of that than anything I ever did. You know, did I have any idea 30 years later, you know, it'd be considered a landmark album in the genre? No, we were just out to get fucked up all the time and play fast heavy metal. You know, but I'm certainly proud of it. If I died tomorrow, you know, it's like, you know, I carry that to my grave that I made that record. You know.
So, but what did you think about the first album around 1987? Because I felt it changed everything for the Pleasures of the Flesh. You know, of course, you joined the band, and the riff style changed a lot. I think because on the first album it's more tremolo oriented, but it's more pan muted, crunchy stuff. And then the lyrics are a bit more socially aware stuff. I think it's...
Yeah, that's probably true, you know. Looking back, you know, in hindsight, you know, probably if I had it to do over, I'd written more songs about Satan on it. But, you know, that's all right. You know, you try to find something else new to do and write about, you know, and then it all comes back to Satan in the end, you know.